everybody, it is me, Game Penguin 21, and today, well, we are going to be looking at a bunch of cleaning that I have to do out of a bunch of old tweets that I managed to scrape off of the internet. Now, these are a bunch of random tweets that I do every so often whenever I don't really have a good video idea or whenever there's like a lull in the salt market. These are just random tweets that I happen to find that are usually tied under one thing. This one today, I guess this week, is PlayStation fanboy stuff. And there's a ton to kind of go over here. I'm not sure if I've gone over a couple of these. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But we're just going to look at them here today because, you know, I need a video this week. And to be honest, this one's really cool. I'm also, again, trying to stream on YouTube a little bit. And I'm not sure if it was the game specifically that kept me, like, getting my stream taken down or something like that, or my stream was stopping for whatever reason. I don't know what the heck the problem is. Maybe I need to redo some of things on the back end and really try it again. Other than that, I guess that's the problem or whatever. Who the heck knows? Maybe my stream just doesn't want to work for me on YouTube, which kind of sucks. I'll try again probably Wednesday of this week, and I'll try it with a different back end setup. But I just don't like that one because it means that I have to then input things I can't input things magically or automatically, but I have to input other things. And I don't know, maybe it's just not going to work. Maybe it is going to work. I have no clue. There is just so much with this. In any case, let's just get started with this, I guess. Starting, of course, off with Unleashed here saying, PC gaming is dying. You'll love to see it. Thank you, PlayStation. Where he then uses a global customer spending on interactive entertainment, where he then lists off a bunch of things here. This is one of the reasons why I stopped talking a lot, mostly about Unleashed, because, number one, he does seem like a very big troll here, and number two, he clearly cannot read at all what this is. Like, he can't read anything having to do with this chart specifically, where the console itself is all red console stuff, and the PC down spending, I guess, is that. I mean, it's only a downturn of a couple, I guess, and it's only not too often. But, I mean, don't you also see that the mobile market has exploded in popularity even more so? So doesn't that mean that the console gaming isn't doing too well either? Plus, I don't know when this was specifically taken, at least screenshot wise, and according to September 2022. I don't even know if this is up to date, but like, I don't know, man. Apparently it's dead, despite the fact that they've like hit a new all-time high. So, oh well. Next up here is Porter Rock 77. This is him about the PlayStation Post saying, "Stupid asses think they never paid extra for the PS5 disc drive. The console launched at $400 and $500. What do you think the extra $100 was for, you idiot? The console was $400. Well, it was $400 for the discless digital-only version. The $500 console was for the disc drive, I guess, and yeah, but it was at least an all-in-one purchase, and not that you had to purchase it separately regardless. Like, at least there was an option to purchase it with the disc drive and also the stand. Like, that's the problem here. It's like, oh yeah, we didn't pay extra for the disc drive. No, they know that they paid extra for the disc drive. It's just that the fact that the PS5 Pro doesn't come with that option is a problem. One of, like, several problems here. Next up, going on that PlayStation Pro train, PlayStation 5 Pro gonna be huge for gaming enthusiasts like me. Machine learning, PSSR, boost mode, quality mode, and better ray tracing at a stable 60 FPS for just $700 is such a steal, in my opinion. Despite the fact that we don't know how all of that will actually function. So, you know, maybe don't, and maybe question why they're making all of these promises. Didn't they also say that they're going to be like, oh, this is all going to be at 60 FPS on the PS5? Like, the standard PS5? Didn't they promise that there? Or even, like, 4K and 8K gaming? Didn't they promise all of that? And yet, none of that was even met at all? Kinda makes you think. Next up here, we have Ninja, where he was basically clowning on someone who apparently finished Shattered Space accidentally in an afternoon. Ninja says, "How the F do you accidentally finish something you hate? Are you an effing clown or what?" Where, to be quite clear, I don't really have anything else to say on this other than the fact that I think that this is just a weird thing that happened. Like, Shattered Space came in, did a little toot toot, and then just kind of left with the wind. I don't know what happened there, or however good the game actually was in terms of the DLC, but it clearly didn't fix it. So, yeah, the fact that I'm even talking about it at all kind of shows you how little of a story this happened, because that happened, like, sometime last month. Next up here, we have J-Dub. This is from the previous, like, Spider-Man 2 video that I didn't have time to include. I found this after the fact, but J-Dub comes in with a prayer for Spider-Man PC2 Stutter Edition. Stutter. Where, you know, the PC in and of itself has more powerful hardware, you know, can actually run this thing, and, you know, Spider-Man 1 didn't stutter at all. And this is also, I'm fairly certain, being done by Nixies, who have had a track record of great PC ports. So, no, I don't think it's going to be the Stutter Edition. And even if it is, there most likely is going to be mods to fix all of those issues in the first place on day 1 or day 0 or whatever. So, oops. But next up here, we have an interesting one for Unknown 9 Awakening. Now, for those of you who may or may not know, Unknown 9 Awakening was one of the actual video games that kind of came out recently. Now, Unknown 9 Awakening is tailored as people being, like, this is one of those quote-unquote woke games. Now, I don't like to call things woke because that just doesn't make any sense to me. But this one I've never actually heard of, and it hasn't been doing well in like online stuff. I don't even remember hearing about this game launching at the time. But I did manage to find this one interesting little thing, this Steam review here that kind of went around and did some of the stuff here. So let's talk about this. Berries and Cream types out. Bigotry and racism have won. I hope you are happy. All y'all hate and racism have destroyed the hopes and dreams of a small dev who just wanted a great story and adventure with all of us. But now that won't be possible because you wanted to cause chaos and watch the world burn. I mean, we just had some very harsh critiques of the game. That's not really anything weird, I would say. You did this. Don't forget it. All the bandwagoning, okay, and this SBI hate for what? This game did nothing wrong. Couldn't let this game have a female dressed like a decent person despite having many games with a generic half-naked, unrealistic Korean tune. I believe that that's supposed to be a dig at, what's it called? Stellar Blade. And, again, that would be funny if that body scan, or the body of the actual individual who was used as a model for the game, wasn't actually a real human being. Like, that model was made from a 3D scan of an actual real-world model with that exact body type. So, you know, don't you get it? People's jobs are at stake. Oh, here we go. This saddens me so much. But hey, gotta celebrate a attached situation, right? Now I understand Alyssa Mercante. She was right all along. Don't listen to Alyssa. Edit. Keep laughing. Go ahead. When Square stops making games for PC, who's gonna laugh? Me, because they're gonna be wasting a lot of money, or wasting their potentially a lot of money out there. I thought you wanted to play as, quote, hot female, so go ahead. Leave Unknown 9 alone and play your Stellar Blade anime, whatever. I will. I mean, I was going to do that probably on purpose because I didn't really have any interest in Unknown 9 personally. I just find it really funny how it's been like, what, this entire year where a bunch of apparently these people who are like the quote-unquote woke crowd or the anti-woke crowd or the whatever the fuck crowd have decided to invade the Steam forums and be like, yes, you're kids, you don't even understand the modern audience, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, the game was bad. It had some bad times to it. Maybe understand that people have some critiques about bad games. I don't know. Next up here, we're going to just mention this really quickly. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but this is Synthetic Man. I made one short on him, and I still do sometimes get comments on that short somehow, and it's like my most popular short because I called out him, and even probably mentioning him in this video will get some people riled up in the comments, but I have nothing else to say other than the fact that I think that the world is healing because he apparently had some, quote, bad news happen to him where he had like 3 streams and 1 video get taken down for, quote, harassment and cyberbullying and hate speech, and that it was just a warning. Yep. Totally, his entire channel can't be taken down for that exact same thing because for whatever reason he's not gotten that popular for whatever reason. And people will still defend him saying, oh yeah, he is the anti-woke person trying to fight against the thing. Like, dude, he's not fighting against the thing. He is a danger to himself and a danger to his audience. Specifically, I'm going to stand by saying that he is still a grifter in that context because he takes your money and he takes your time away from people. I argued about this enough in the video. If you want to go and see my full thoughts on it, I guess you can go and see if I have the short still up because I probably will. Next up here, we have Unleashed with Mario, Zelda, or Sonic. It doesn't matter. Astrobot conquered all. Where, he shows a bunch of these actual reviews on, I believe, Metacritic. But I did actually want to point out a couple of things here. So, one, if not the biggest things, is the fact that each of these have actually lower review counts or lower critic reviews. Quite interesting. But what's also funny is that this is like a newer franchise, so a lot of people are going to actually like it. And these ones have been kind of, I believe, the Echoes of Wisdom is that the DLC? The 1,000-Year Door is a remake, and the Sonic X Shadow Generation is the only new one, and that Sonic has been kind of on the downtrodden for a while. So 78 is actually pretty high for it. But again, in context, okay. Again, this is another one of those reasons where I don't talk about Unleashed anymore because he doesn't add anything to the conversation. He's just a meme lord seemingly on the internet for no fucking reason. So, whoop-de-doo. Next up here, we have a very interesting one with Lena Khan and saying, as of today, the FDA's final rule on fake online reviews and testimonials has come into effect. And this is essentially, apparently, looking at the fine print here, saying that it's basically faking customer reviews, buying positive or negative reviews, insider reviews, as well as company-controlled review websites, review suspicion and views of fake social media interactions. All of that seems to be coming under some sort of effect from the FTC, trying to make the market a bit more transparent, with the Red Dragon coming in here saying, no wonder all these Xbox podcasters have been so desperate, has been so distressed lately. Good job, Lena. Now, I don't think that Lena is I forget if she's the actual head of the FTC, but I guess this is supposed to imply that most of the reviews for, say, Xbox games are, like, fake or bought for whatever reason. I don't know. It seems very strange to me that they would do that. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But this is also one of those things where I'm not sure how well this is actually going to be enforced. Because while, yes, this ruling is a thing about fake online reviews and testimonials is coming into effect, how do you prove that is my biggest question. Proving that is going to be the hardest part of some of these reviews. So maybe, but I mean, I don't know. But next up, we have an interesting one that happened to have come along during the whole PlayStation kind of review site thing. I searched around for this, and finally, after a bunch of searching, I eventually came to the conclusion that this has a little bit of an interesting update, and we're going to talk about that here. This is Nib. Nib is one of those people who I tend to talk about sometimes, but his take here on exclusives and what makes a PlayStation, like, better, I guess, in this context, let's get started with this. So Nib says, if Elden Ring was exclusive, it would have been even better, since instead of devs being spread across 5 platforms, they'd have been able to focus on just 2. May have had more polish, content, technical performance, and merit. Now, let me stop you right there and say, you do realize that you are talking about Elden Ring, right? How Elden Ring would have, quote, more content if they were focused in on just a couple platforms. No. Fucking no. Straight up, I've played over 100 hours of this game. There is no way in goddamn hell could you have stuffed more content into that game. Even in just the base game. I'm not even talking about the DLC, which has even more content on top of the previous content. And you have to go through a substantial portion of the content of the game in order to even get to that point of the game. Seems kind of interesting here. But this is the part where everyone seems to have gotten him, and the reason why there's a little bit of a weird update here. PlayStation exclusives aren't developed on PCs, not a bulk of work anyway. They are created on PS dev kits with their own custom proprietary API, not DirectX like PCs. Now, we all know about the quote-unquote meme, but it's also the actual fact that most, if not all, video games are made on not PlayStation. Not what the fuck am I talking about? They are made on PCs, not PlayStation. PCs. To which all that I have to say to that is the reason is because of the flexibility of a PC and the fact that you can't actually do half the shit on consoles that you can do on PCs. Console API and dev kits are mainly just the environment of a PlayStation or Xbox or whatever to see if the game runs on it. The bulk of the development is actually done on PCs. Why? Because of the flexibility, because of the actual usage of PCs, and because you can't do things such as code, model, or texture, or even half the shit else. You can't even run like an actual engine on it. Oh, but you can run an engine on a dev kit because, well, they run the engine in the video game. That's different. That's a different thing, and that's a different environment, and it's more of a piece of the actual engine rather than the full engine itself where it has to run. And again, that still doesn't include the fact that you can't code on there. That still doesn't include the fact that you can't produce run 3D modeling software or programming software or texturing software or any of the other stuff that they would use in actual designing of a video game. So, yeah. But the interesting update to that is Josh Edits here, who I believe is supposedly the editor for, like, the stream of Alex. I think it's Alex's stream or something like that. I don't know. But Josh, the editor, comes in with saying, "Hey, Nib, can I get a massive explanation according to every single reason as to why you deleted this?" That's right. Nib got so much backlash for being so fucking wrong with this thing that he didn't even get community noted. He deleted the whole post after a dev literally came in, dunked on him so hard that he's like, you know what? Maybe this was a bad take. That is just the most hilarious ending to that entire saga there. And I know that I took like 5 minutes to talk about it, but that right there is fucking incredible to me. That right there is fucking incredible to me. Now, I did have like a number of more posts after this, but to be fair, I might have to break this off into 2 parts just to do some like house cleaning this week. Just because I need 2 different I usually like to keep 2 videos uploaded. So consider this the end of part 1, as I don't want to go into another like 10 to 15 minute rant about stuff. So the end of part 1, what have we learned today over the past couple of weeks? Well, we learned that most PlayStation fanboys don't understand what the hell they're even talking about when it comes to even the most basics in terms of things such as game design, game direction, or even that certain things aren't PlayStation-centric, and they never will be, because that's just not how the industry works, nor is that how real life works. Overall, I think that'll about do it for this episode of I Yap Into a Microphone. If you like what it is that I do, want to support me in any other way, shape, or form, links down to everything in the description below. Expect a part 2 of this probably either next Tuesday or more likely Thursday, for where I complete the rest of these tweets where I just brush up on it. It might be a Saturday video, or it might be just a video that I post somewhere else. Be on the lookout for it, because I will post it for you guys, because you deserve it. In any cases, my name is GamePenguin21, and a peace.